And we're live. Post Merry Christmas, Angie's Angles, friends and family. We got Santa from the South Pole joining us today. Pete O'Shea.
Ho, ho, ho. I'm so tired.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, this is Angie's Angles. Come to you live from Caparuso Gagliano Hacienda. We've got about 3-4 inches on the ground of snow on the ground, and smoke therapy's closed for the evening to get everybody home safe. So we're doing it from home. The podcast, Harold. Ho, ho, ho. What's up, brother?
What's up, my brother Harold? Listen, everybody out there, get home safely. If you're watching now and driving, pull over first, please. We don't want nobody sliding into the middle of the LIE.
That's it. That's it. So this is the post-Christmas podcast. Not your typical day. Today's Friday and yesterday was Thursday, but due to the holiday, we're going to do the podcast this evening. And programming note, next week we're going to take the week off. It's just actually I got an event on Friday, January 2nd, as it is anyway, and it's New Year's Day on January 1, which is a Thursday. So we're just going to forego next week's podcast. If there's any breaking news, catch me on my shorts, on my channel, Angie's Angles. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe, please. Angie's Angles on YouTube.
You've earned a week off, pal. You've earned it.
Yeah, I've only had 3 in 5 years, Pete. So
but you're the guy that I was saying to you before we go on air. If the Mets just listened to you on a regular basis, they wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. Sticky Stearns over there, who would not have screwed everything up if they just let you be the GM. I think you should be the GM of the Mets.
Well, Danica, hey! Look at this is a gift from Danica, Danny's girlfriend.
Hey, that's nice. Nice gift.
I got my Guinness in it. It was in the freezer, nice and cold. So, Danica, thank you, honey.
Nice job, Danica. Good job, buddy.
So, Pete, the topic tonight is David Stearns, a.k.a. Scrooge. The holiday season, we've got ghosts of past, present, and future coming to Mr. Stearns. My buddy, Lenny Bolello, actually I put it up on Facebook. He had a little parody along that line, and the ghosts of Mets past, present, and future joined David Stearns and tried to show him the right thing to do. And catch it. You should catch it. It's on my Facebook page. Lenny Bolello. Good job by him.
Good job.
So Pete, we're lambasting here. We're wafting in our sorrow, our disbelief on some of the things.
Shock. My other shock.
I have no problem losing McNeil, and from what Kevin Lytics tells me, my buddy Kevin down in Hollywood, Florida, is the kid that we got for McNeil is an up-and-comer. Now he's 17 years old. Let's call a spade, Pete.
It's kind of embarrassing if you're McNeil. You got traded for a 7. Kid can't even vote, and you got traded for him. That's a little cold.
But also, again, dollars and cents, McNeil was costing us an arm and a leg to be a utility guy.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think you hit the nail on the head about 5 weeks ago on this show. There was a serious chemistry problem in the clubhouse, and the guys who were the troublemakers are gone. Nimmo wanted to be captain. McNeil and Lindor were always at each other's throat. Pete was complaining all year because he didn't get the big contract. Anybody who was a pain in the ass in the clubhouse, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya.
I can't take away anything that you say from there as being not accurate. It's 100% accurate. But if we're going to be doing that, who you bringing in, Mr. Rogers and Captain Kangaroo? Come on.
I know it's a bad strategy, that's for sure. The 25 players, 25 cab teams win too. They do win, those teams. We won a world championship with that team, and we won a world championship.
Yankees, they hated each other back in the 70s.
and yet they still won, right? They're beating the crap out of each other, but they can still win. So I don't really understand what Stearns is trying to do here is prove that his way of playing GM, which is a modified version of Billy Bean's Moneyball, can be effective no matter where you are long term. That's what he's trying to prove. Will he be effective? No, he will not. The fan base will not allow it. We will not have the patience for a 4-year buildup now. No way. They have to fix this now. In the next couple of weeks, if they do not make 4 or 5 big moves, the City Field might get torn down bit by bit.
You know, hey, Eric Schuster. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Eric. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. What's going on? Listen, Pete, one of the things that is bothering me, and a couple of podcasts has covered it the way I'm about to cover it.
Okay.
You know, the mantra is, well, we lost with the core. We could win or lose without the core. And the argument is it's the core didn't really lose it for you. You never set the core up to have substantial pitching behind the core, i.e. last year. Offensively, we all almost to a man they had the career years. I mean, Alonso with the 272 batting average, Nimmo with the 25 home runs. I mean, these guys produced, Pete, like we
94
discussed.
RBIs for Nimbo also.
Sure.
94 RBIs.
126 for Pete. I mean, come on. These guys weren't dropping the ball. It was
Isn't it interesting, though? We had a similar situation with the Mets back in the day, if you remember. We had two Carloses, Beltran and Delgadez. We had all those guys around them, but not enough pitching. And with all that core, we still didn't win either. And so you'd think you'd learn from the mistake, but they don't.
You know, we've had unique and elite pitching staffs 3 times in a lifetime, Pete. Maybe, you know.
Maybe 3 times.
You know,
I'm really going to say 2.5.
Sure, because DeGrom has to be, but who was around DeGrom? DeGrom was the pitching staff, right, when he pitched for us.
Yeah, there was a couple other guys who wanted to be there. Dark Knight had a season and a half here and there, Syndergaard a little bit here and there. But you had the 69 team, you had the 73 team, or the 86 team as well.
Right,
So,
right.
and then you had these guys. But the 2015 guys came up short as far as I'm concerned.
We've had opportunities to bring in guys, and we've spit the bit on it. I mean,
yeah, we have. We spit the bit on a lot of guys, especially this winter, man. We spit the bit on so many good chances this year already.
And here's my thought process a little bit, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that I talk to and I watch the podcast are all saying that Cody Bellinger is going back to the Skankies. Well, I say I don't agree with that, because if Bellinger was going to be a Skanky, they would have struck already. They would have said, here you go. This is what you want. Here it is. Sign, please. Thank you. And Merry Christmas. The longer that these guys stay on the market, I firmly believe the longer that they won't come back to the team. Hey,
I have a rumor about that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I hear that the same security guard that rubbed Soto's family the wrong way rubbed Bellinger's family the wrong way also this past year.
Really?
And that the whole I have to pay for my own suites, which the Yankees do, and some of the other family rules the Yankees apply, had a lot to do with Bellinger's mindset right now, is what I am being told, what I hear.
That's interesting. And they're coming back with the no facial hair, the Skankies.
See,
they relaxed it, but they're coming back with the rule.
Too many restrictions to play there at this point. When you need, you need players to win. You got to just let them do their thing.
We're going to read Jerry's comment. I think Stearns is convincing Cohen not to give the money or contracts out. Time will tell. But I think Stearns comes out looking like a Scrooge if and when they miss the playoffs again. But we'll see. But to not even make an offer to Pete is terrible. Shows other players how they are not valued. But the owner or GM, if they made Pete a great offer and he chose to leave, then the fans would be upset. So, good points here. Jerry. We appreciate that. The fact is that the Mets did make Pete an offer, but no more than 3 years. They were not willing to go past 3. Pete wanted 5. He got his 5. But the fact that we went out and signed Polanco to play first base, the position he's played one game at, and gave him the $40 million.
Yeah.
You could have had Pete, for 115. You know what I'm saying? So you're already, it just makes no sense to me.
Let me ask you this question. Would Cohen tell Stern to just shut up and spend no matter what if he wasn't trying to build this casino at the same time? So maybe Cohen's waiting a few years before he starts spending because he needs infrastructure money to build his casino first.
So I would like to think, as a fan, Pete, that the casino has nothing to do with the Mets. Now,
but it does, though.
Call it what you will. I think that was Cohen's end game for sure. I don't disagree with any of that. But he also has $23 billion, Pete.
It's not real money, though. He's a hedge fund guy. It's not hard cash. He doesn't have $23 billion in hard cash.
Sure. But he's got a lot of it.
Yeah, but he doesn't have as much as he says he does, and he's not as fluent or as solid as he says he is. Not to mention the fact he's on a regular basis skirting the notion of indictment for all the kiting and stuff that he does, okay? He's a professional kiter. That's what he is, man.
Well, I'm going to move off of that subject because it boils my intestines. For lack of a better word. Let's give a couple shout outs. Hey, Clark, don't worry about being late. Merry Christmas, buddy. Harold.
Welcome, buddy.
Harold Atkins, what's going on?
What's up, Harold Atkins? How you doing, buddy?
So I think Cohen tried to be owner and GM. And what I mean by that is doling out the money to Scherzer, to the other guy.
Yeah, Verlander.
Thank you, Pete.
Sure.
Throwing $40 million each at them and trying to make a big splash and show the fan base that he's Daddy Warbucks and the whole 9 yards. He turned out to be Mr. Magoo, to be honest with you, with the thick glasses, and he couldn't see past his thick-ass chin, if you know what I mean. So,
he went from Richie Rich to Mr. Magoo.
Mr. Magoo. So, I mean, we got to call the spade here on Angie's Angles. So he waited 1.5 years for Stearns, Pete. He brought Stearns in. He's not going to meddle. He's given him carte blanche. He said, "This is your team, build it." But, i.e., and Mike Francesa said this, and it's the one thing that me and Mikey could agree on. Stearns is not Cohen's not a stupid man.
No, he's not.
He's the boss, and he's got underlings.
You don't get that far without being smart.
Right, he's got underlings. He issues edicts. This is what I expect at the end of the year. You'll be graded and judged upon so. So now he's turned it over to Stearns, said, "Okay, Mr. Holy Roller, Mr. President of Baseball Operations, show me what you got." The rope's not going to be that long. The rope
we'll see about that.
So
we'll see about that. All right, you want to play my game now?
Yeah, let's do it. So Pete devised a game. I'll let you explain it, brother.
Okay, so I'm calling this Stearns is a moron, so we have to make up for it. Okay, and that Angelo is smarter than Stearns. That's the whole name of the game. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I found a couple of economically depressed teams that actually have a few good players. I'm going to pretend I'm the GM from those players, and I'm going to say to you, all right, here's what I got for you, and I'm going to go for you a couple of names, and then you tell me from the Mets if you would want those guys, and how much would you give me? What would you give me from the Mets for those guys? Okay.
Okay, sure, you got it.
All right. So the first team I'm going to start with is the team I think we can easily make a trade with, and that's the Tampa Bay Rays. Okay, they're going to play in Steinbrenner Field last year. They're going to go back to their own stadium, but they were economically beat up by last year. They had to give the Yankees $5 million in rent on top of everything else. So here's what I want. I'm going to get from them Drew Rasmussen, Yandy Diaz, and Clevenger, the left-handed reliever. That's the three guys I got on Tampa who I think could help the Mets. Yandy Diaz to play a DH or first base. Drew Rasmussen is a starter, and Clevenger's a hell of a lefty reliever because I'm not so sure about Rayleigh and the other guy Minter coming off of a year's injuries. What would you give me for those three guys? Are you interested?
Do you know their salary situations?
Yeah, you're looking at Rasmussen's got 2 years left. Diaz has his last year here of arbitration. He goes to free agency, and Clevenger just re-signed for a 3-year deal.
All right, so Yonder's the big dog in this trade package.
He's an on-base machine. He
Right,
can play
right.
first base and DH. He's good in the clubhouse, and if you put him in the 2-hole, he'll score 100 runs.
I offer for that package. I offer Sprout and Acuna.
Sprout and Acuna. I tell you what, I would have done it for Ronnie Mauricio and Christian Scott, or you could have given me Vientos, and I would have fell for that plan.
Huh. See, I'm not ready to get rid of Vientos.
I'm not saying I would have wanted to get rid of him, but I'm saying you don't need much to get those three guys. You could have that package. And I think all three of those guys help you. Okay, so that's a package. That's a team I like. All right. Now, the next one is gonna be hold on. Okay, Cleveland is another team that's economically challenged. They had the third lowest payroll going into next season, so I would like to get from them Ramirez, Quan, and their ace starting pitcher Gavin Williams, the 6'6" guy who's only 26 years old. Gavin Williams was their ace. Ramirez is their stud, and Quan their left fielder. Are you interested in those three guys? And what would you give me for them?
Who wouldn't be interested in a Ramirez Quan Williams package? But that's going to cost a lot of money.
But are you willing to do it? You have to overpay now because Stearns screwed up. So are you willing to do it? And what do you offer me for those three?
That's hard. All right. I'm gonna shock you perhaps and shock our listening base. I'm gonna throw in Francisco Alvarez. I'm going to throw in. You have to give him Vientos. You must.
Right.
And then, as much as I don't want to, I'll give him 2 out of the following 3. I'll get Sprout, Scott, Tong. They could have 2 out of those 3 guys. So they get Alvarez, Vientos, and 2 of the 3 pitchers.
Yeah, if I'm them, I would also want one of the other, Beignet or Jet Williams. I would have to get one of those guys back too.
Yeah, you can't do Carson Bench. You couldn't do it.
If I'm giving you Quan for left field, also you got to give me an outfielder back.
Yeah, but Carson Bench is your starting center fielder for the New York Mets 2026.
I don't think he is. I think you just think that he is. I think he winds up being the starting center fielder for somebody else. You have to you can't think like you as a GM. You have to realize that he put us way behind. We have no bargaining power, and we've got to swing from Hail Mary trades in order to get back into this now. You can't look at value. You have to say, we got to get the need. We got to overpay if we have to, but we have to get the need, okay? So, all right, let's see.
Yeah, give me a second. Mark Brooks, I don't want Vientos to leave either, but unless we have a position for the kid, what are we going to do with him? Make him sit on the bench and hit every 3-4 times a game?
At this point, he's playing first base unless something changes.
Well, Polanco,
Polanco's going to wind up DHing. Polanco's going to wind up DHing. Okay,
that's a pretty expensive DH.
He's going to DH. Polanco.
He's a pretty good left fielder, though. I have to admit.
Well, then he can probably do that then too, but he's not going to play first base at this moment unless something changes. Vientos is first base. All right, here's my next pack. Two guys. They say they're not making this move, but I think if you came to enough with the table, they would. Minnesota. Byron Buxton to play center field and Joe Ryan to be your new ace. You want those two, and what are you going to give me for them?
Didn't Joe Ryan just resign?
He has 2 years left.
2 years left. Okay. Listen, Byron Buxton is a premier defensive center fielder and, when healthy, a premier offensive.
35 homers last year.
Yes, correct. What was his average?
270. He had over 800 OPS altogether. He gets on base, and again, the premier center fielder. So those two guys make you a better team immediately the next day. So what are you going to give me for them? That puts you back in contention almost right away with those two guys. In
So
fact, if you made the Tampa Ray the Rays deal and that deal, you're in right now. You're back.
I give him Senga, Vientos, Sprout.
Senga, Vientos, Sprout, and again, they're going to want one of those guys also. Jet Williams, they're going to want.
Give him Williams. I'm okay
All right.
with it.
All right, so you'll give them that much for that? I
Sure.
think they would do that trade. I think at that point they would do that. Minnesota has to do that trade at that point. And now we have a new center fielder and a new starting pitcher. And then if you go ahead and make the Tampa Bay trade as well, you'd have a first baseman, another lefty reliever, and another starting pitcher. But that isn't even my biggest one that I'm going to put on the table. Ready?
Hold on. We got a comment.
Oh, we got a comment.
Harold Atkins enjoying the Hyatt life. Is it the Hyatt life that you're enjoying right now? If push comes to shove, give them Ryan Clifford.
Oh, okay. That's a good choice also. Good job, Harold. Good job, buddy. By the way, Harold's become one of my sources, Harold Atkins. He and I go back and forth all week. Any rumors we hear, we share with each other. All right, and now here's my big one. Here's my big giant one. So again, I'm going after teams on purpose who are economically depressed but have good players.
Uh-huh.
And in this case, I want the best player and a guy that's not as good. But the reason I'm willing to take it is because I know they want to get a lot of money on this team.
Right.
The team I'm going after, you know where I'm going now.
Yep.
All right. San Diego Padres are in receivership. They are borrowing money from the league to stay afloat. They cannot keep running these tabs. Okay. So I want Tatis, I want Pivetta, and I want Miller, the kid they got from Oakland. Because I want those three, they're going to force me to take Machado as well. So those four, Tatis, Pivetta, Miller, Machado. You want that package? And what do you give me for it if you do?
I'll give you the 25-man roster right now. And I'll start over, for God's sakes. I mean, that's a pretty big package. Listen.
Yeah.
Machado is by far your premier defensive third baseman. He's
aging, though. He's aging.
And Pete, what we mentioned in the beginning of the show, he's a clubhouse cancer.
Absolutely. He's another pain in the ass. He's a high maintenance pain in the ass.
So I don't see how that.
But they're going to force you to take him. They won't let you just have Tatis for nothing.
Then I got to walk away. I can't take Machado and put him in the clubhouse that currently has Lindor.
Then they're going to want you to take Bogarts then.
I wouldn't mind taking Bogarts.
Where are you going to put him? Where are you going to put Bogarts?
He could play third. If he could play short, he could play third.
All right, so you put Bogarts at third, and then you put Tatis.
They're going to make you take Vientos. I mean,
they have to take one more big contract. San Diego won't do the deal unless you eat one of those two, Bogarts or Machado. Both of those guys have it. Machado has 7 years left, and check it out, Bogarts still has 11 years left on his deal. 11.
That's insane.
Okay, he signed a 13-year deal after 2 years ago, okay? He's got 11 years left. They're not going to make a deal for you, Tatis, unless you agree to take one or both of those two freaking those contracts are albatross around the neck of the whole franchise, those two contracts. Do you do it?
I let him drown, Pete.
You do?
I let the Padres drown.
You don't get Tatis. Listen, Tatis, Pivetta, and Miller alone, if you could get those three, Miller could wind up being the best closer in baseball someday. Oakland was stupid to trade him. Okay, if you're putting teams together, you should have held on to him. Those three guys can put you over the top. You make that trade and one of these other trades I talked about, or two of them, I mean, yeah, at the end, you don't have much of a farm system left. But again, that's Stern's fault. He put us in this dumbass spot. And now you have to overpay. And there's not enough free agency left. You're going to have to do this in trades. Luckily, you have some good players to work with. And there are teams who, because of economics, because TV contracts fell apart, because they played minor league ballparks last year, for various reasons, are economically challenged. Let's take advantage. Again, the owner died in San Diego.
Right.
You know what I mean? I worked at a radio station once. The owner died. The next day, our key didn't work. Okay.
So no, I understand completely. I
So
mean,
that's the teams I'm going after.
and we talked about a couple of landing spots for some folks, but Ryan O'Hearn going to the Pirates. Watch out for the Pirates.
I love it that they're spent. Look, here's exactly what we were just talking about. We said other teams earlier weren't going to spend money, but they are. Pittsburgh is spending money. Oakland is spending money. The White Sox spent money. It's really exciting to see that. Actually, I thought all three of those teams were going to be sellers this winter. I really did, and instead they're buying. So and Pittsburgh is really saying to the fan base, "Yeah, we can't waste the best years of this kid's life. We can't do it."
And that just proves to you that Skeens is going nowhere, folks.
It also proves that the other owners got in Tom Miller's ear and said, "Cut it out, jackass. Start spending some money now, or we're going to take the team away from you." And they said the same thing to Cohen. Put Stearns in place and get economically feasible, or we're going to take the team away from you. And that's why we're in this spot. We got a dichotomy of two mindsets, one from an owner, one from a GM, that are completely different, and they do not mesh.
Huh.
And so until that's changed, we're not going to because look, any of these trades I just suggested to you. I forgot. But I got one more. You ready? I got a bonus one. Okay, I got you. Are you having fun with this game?
I am.
Okay, I worked hard on this. I worked at least 14 seconds on this before we went on the air.
No, this is awesome.
Okay, here's my last one. I last couple of years I lived in St. Louis, as you know, so I got very close to that team. So here's who I'm going to offer you from that team. Unfortunately, I don't have a starting pitcher to offer you. I already traded Sonny Gray away. He's the only starter there worth having. But I do have some guys you might like. I think you might like Brendan Donovan, who can play second base, third base, DH, left field, hit 287 with a 353 on base percentage. All right, Alec Burleson, who can play first base or outfield, hit 290 with a 342 on base percentage, 18 homers, 69 RBIs, and two fantastic relief pitchers who had great years for them last year, Kyle Leach, the right-hander, and JoJo Romero, the left-handed reliever. I love those guys. I love all four of those guys. I could build a team on robots that worked like those four guys worked. I loved watching Donovan and Burleson play. They play old school. They get on base, situational hitting, on base percentage, and they're defensively versatile. So, do you like that package? And what do you give me for it?
I'm going to phone a friend, Pete. Clock Oatman, you're on the clock.
Clock, what do you think, buddy? Here's what the Cardinals package.
He's my resident Cardinal guy.
All right, Clock, here's the package again, buddy. So, Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson, relief pitchers Kyle Leach, and relief pitcher JoJo Romero to the Mets for what? I think it helps you out because, again, both Burleson and Donovan can play more than one position. They're the type of player that he's looking for. They're both economically right in the right lane for you. And both of those relievers, I watched those guys a lot last year. The Cardinals would have been brutal and would have lost 120 games without that bullpen they had.
Those two offensive guys that you mentioned, Pete, are just outstanding. And those are baseball players, Pete, right?
They're baseball players. They can play. They get dirty. They get hurt. They dive. I watched Donovan, man. And in one game, he plays second base. Next game, he plays left field. Then he goes over to third base. Burleson, I love those two guys. They're the nitty gritty ball players you need on a team, and they produce every year. Those guys produce. So that's and again, that's a team that's selling off pieces left and right. Okay, if you call them up and you ask about these guys, they're available.
Listen, as long as we don't include Ollie, the manager Ollie, in that package, I'm okay with it. I think we lost Clark. Clark might have had to go out and shovel or something, but that's a heavy package. So you'd have to go along the lines of Senga, Viento, Sproat, and Jet Williams, and maybe one more guy.
But you would do that, right? If that was the trade, I would do it. I'm doing
See,
it.
the two guys that I don't want us to trade are Senga and Vientos, but for the right package, I'd have to do it, and that's the right package, Pete. You
Yeah,
bring a lot of good packages to the table.
I think you can make at least two of the trades I just said, one of the big ones and one of the small ones, and there you go. There's your Mets fix right there. If you do one big one, and if you do the Cleveland trade and then either the Tampa Bay trade or the St. Louis trade or all three trades, the Mets can be right back where they need to be, right
Yeah,
there.
getting back to your comment about baseball owners and commissioner mandating the Padres to get fiscally responsible, mandating the Mets be fiscally responsible. I don't think you're wrong. I think those are valid comments and they can't be argued. And perhaps that's why Cohen has taken a back seat to this to these negotiations.
Nobody could have been happy with the Soto contract. The other owners could not possibly have been happy to see that number. And then that just gave the Dodgers all the room to go do the Otani. And remember the difference between those two contracts. Not one dime of Soto's is deferred. Almost all of Otani's is deferred. So if you're
Yeah.
going to spend, at least you did it the right way, and you're basically paying for it with the interest. Okay. So the other owners, are going to go to the commission and say, "Hey, you got to stop this lunatic. We can't have this."
Yeah, but in the same breath, the Yankees were willing to give Soto 700 plus too.
I
So
understand that. So whatever team signs Soto for over, and then the Dodgers are going to start hearing the same thing. They're going to start hearing from the owners too. Hey, cut it out, man. There's not going to be any competitive balance here. If the Dodgers wind up signing more big free agents, come on, man, it's ridiculous now. So at some point they're going to get told to stop too. It has to happen. Even back in the day, they would stop the Yankees. They would stop the Boston Celtics eventually. Remember Charlie Finley tried buying a bunch of players. They stepped in and said, no, 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 no. We can't have this. This isn't how it works. So you have to have some fiscal responsibility, or the other owners, your partners, will gang up against you.
well, you've made this quite the engaging podcast tonight, Pete, and I appreciate you as always. Sometimes it's good for me to sit back and listen to some intelligent conversation happen in front of me. So good job, brother. I appreciate you.
Well, I also like setting you. The ones I enjoy best is when I can set you up because you are the master. And if I say the scenarios, you will give the right answers. You always do. So
I
I
appreciate
want
that.
I want Met fans to hear what should be done instead of what is being done. So
Yeah,
Angie, and Angie, I think you really should be GM. I really do. I
yeah,
want to start a
listen,
campaign.
I'm in. I'm in. All right. Mark Brooks should be happy as we went into extra innings this evening. We're 2 minutes past 9. As I watched the snow fall continuously out my door, hence being home tonight, no smoke therapy. We'll be back in 2 weeks to smoke therapy. Remember, programming no Angie's Angles next week. Happy New Year to all my friends here and family on Angie's Angles. We're going right into the prayer circle. Harold Sanderson, we're praying for Dawn Squared, Carolyn Bob, your buddy Jerry, and you, sir, with your fractured ankle. Terry Sanchez, we're praying for your mom's legs. Antoinette Brooks says your brother Mike is still looking for that kidney. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom, my friend. Linda Stein, we're praying for your hand, your dad, and life in general, and those grandbabies of yours. Kevin Elliott, we're praying for your health issues. The Krause family, we're praying for Aubrey as her cancer remains in remission. Deb and Lee down in Maryland, we're praying for Lee's health as we always do every week. Marianne Bello, my friend from high school, out in Las Vegas now. We're praying for your mom and yourself, young lady. Larry Levy, we're praying for your wife, Frida, as her cancer remains in remission. Mr. McGowan, sir, update on Mr. McGowan is he's home. He's resting. Some good moments, a lot of not so good moments. We thank God for having Mr. McGowan around for Christmas. So thank you very much for that. That was important to all of us, including his family. And your next mission, Mr. McGowan, should you accept it, is let's get to New Year's, buddy. We love you. Buddy Ralph at Smoke Therapy, we're praying for your health issues. Pete and Shani down there in Florida, we're praying for your guys' new life. under the golden sun. Big John, we're praying for your friend Irene. Joe Echevarria, we're praying for your heart. West Coast, Dave Prince, you got to make an appearance, buddy. We're praying for your blood work. Johnny Barbecue, we're praying for your recovery from your sciatica surgery. Johnny W., we're praying for Elizabeth. John V., we're praying for your father-in-law. Mark Brooks, stay vertical, mi amigo, and Anaya's uncle. Marianne Jones, 3 weeks now, recovering from knee replacement surgery. I had one more and it's skipping me at the moment, so I apologize. Pete, you got anybody while I try to think and remember?
Yeah, well, my our daughter-in-law is going to. We just had a baby with one daughter-in-law, and now we got another one that's going to be due here at the end of January. So we just saw a picture of her yesterday, and she is ready to pop. So please pray we have another successful birth, please.
We're praying hard for you guys, Pete, down there in Florida for your family. Dave Schwimmer, thanks for joining us. Yes, I hope you get home soon, Dave, if you're not already. Dave works over in Nassau County, so the roads do suck. Just trying to think, was there somebody else I had? I can't think of it at the moment. Petey, thank you as always. We'll see you in 2 weeks, yes?
Yes, I will be with you in 2 weeks.
So we'll miss next week. Happy New Year to everybody. A happy, safe, healthy one. If you're driving, don't drink. If you're drinking, don't drive. It's been Angie's Angles.
Please get home safe, everybody.
It's been Angie's Angles. Come to you live from the Gagliano Caparuso Hacienda. Good night. God bless. We love you. Bye, Pete.
Okay, buddy. Bye, bye, bye.